This is Good in the Hood podcast. Our conversation today is with Sean Morrison, the Executive Director of Good in the Hood and Senior Pastor of Cedar Crest Free Methodist Church. The values of any organization become the DNA of who they are and what they want to become. Sean talks about the value of partnership in today's podcast.
Sean, as we've been talking about the three core values of Good in the Hood, what are they again?
Provision, participation, and partnerships.
And we've talked about provision and participation, but let's talk about partnerships now. Our world is connected with a variety of networks and partnerships that are essential for commerce to succeed. That's all around us today. But what makes your partnerships critical to the success of your mission?
They really are critical or crucial, and we believe in them because we can do more together than apart. I mean, it's that old term of synergy, and in the Bible it even talks about a three-strand rope is not easily broken. There's strengthening. There's the ability to share resources. Where one has much, they can share with one who has little, and they can then, basically be able to contribute their strengths. But where they're vulnerable or weak, they can receive from those within that partnership. And so it's the ability to have shared contribution, a shared stake in it. I think a lot of times networks are a little less intimate, but a partnership, you really have to have a common goal, what you're trying to achieve. And that's what makes it work, is we have a common goal that we're driving towards, and then everybody knows what their role is in order to contribute towards that.
So what exactly then, even though you have a shared goal, what do you exactly look for in a partnership? Because you don't want somebody that does exactly the same thing, do you, as you?
No.
What do you look for?
In the partnership, we typically, depending on the level of partnership, sometimes it's organizational, sometimes it's program. For example, we have a partnership with some local colleges in providing food for students. And so what we're looking for there is that they, number one, they embrace the cause of hunger relief in students, and that's a key component. And so that is going to be an agreement at a certain level. They may not agree with everything about our organization, and we might not agree with everything that they do, but that one thing we are in unity on. Hunger relief for students. So they'll provide a facility, they'll provide student workers, and then we will provide food and licensure and insurance. We know our role, and they know their role, and it works really well.
So give us a typical illustration of what a partnership really looks like in your day-to-day operation.
Yeah, well, day-to-day, we have a food shelf, for example, at the very church that I pastor, Cedar Crest Church. I approached Cedar Crest Church and I asked them if we could partner together with Good in the Hood in order to feed the community. And we started with groceries. Well, I had Good in the Hood set up so that it could procure groceries and even could bring in some volunteers, but we didn't have a location. And so Cedar Crest Church generously was willing to allow their facility to be turned into a food shelf, which is no small matter, and to do it at no cost. They would bear the cost of the facility. They would even have to do the fix-its when there were repairs. And carpeting, we started serving hot meals and there were spills all over the sanctuary floor. And they were willing to do that. They also contributed some volunteer labor because the members would get involved. So that was Cedar Crest Church's contribution. Good in the Hood provided the cost of the food, brought in some volunteers. We provided the licensure and the oversight, and we provided the method for doing it. So that would be an example of one partnership, and most of ours follow that same DNA.
Most of your programs have partners in there. Not only the food, but also the Shoo Away Hunger program has partners. Tell us how those partnerships work.
Partnerships work in a variety of ways because it depends on the partner. As an example, we have a Fare for All partner. Fare for All provides food for families, and doesn't have to be families in need. It could be families that are middle or upper class even. They just provide a discount. So you can buy food for maybe a third of the cost of what you could in a grocery store. So they have a number of people coming to their sites, and there's about 30 Fare for All sites throughout the Twin Cities area. And so they had a group of people interested in buying food. They invited Shoo Away Hunger to come with our bus that offered low-cost shoes. We suggested $5 donation for a pair of shoes, and they felt like that would be a benefit to their customers. And the idea was that then customers would not only have food, they would have shoes, and that the purchase of these shoes then would, when we got revenue from them, we used that to buy more groceries. So it helped our food shelf, it helped the customers that were buying from Fare for All, and it helps Fare for All because when they told people that there were shoes being sold at a discount, more customers started coming to their sites. So it was a win-win-win.
So at the end of the day, you have these three core values: provision, participation, and partnerships. That underscores everything you do. And does that describe fully what Good in the Hood is?
That really is the DNA of Good in the Hood. That fingerprint will be on everything we do almost without exception, I believe. We will always have something to do with provision. That's a gateway, and that allows then people and organizations to be involved at some level where it advances people towards a preferred future. And we can't do it alone. We don't want to do it alone, so we look for opportunities to partner. We feel that's the most efficient way to do outreach, and it's very cost-effective, but it also enables us to multiply the good we can do because there's more resources available then. It's a greater resource pool when you partner.
Helping others and changing lives is at the heart of Good in the Hood. If you'd like to know more about this value-driven organization, please visit goodinthehood.org.